I'm curious, Lav, what do you think the biggest storyline is ahead of the final major in the men's game?
It's Rory.
Rory.
It's Rory, and it's Rory. And I think most importantly, which Rory are we going to see?
Okay.
Is it going to be the Rory that was sort of brooding during the PGA Championship and at least the early stages of the U.S. Open? Or is it going to be the bouncy Rory? The Rory that we saw earlier this year, the Rory that we saw at the Masters, the Rory that we saw at the Zurich Classic, who was sort of basking in the glow of completing the career Grand Slam. Even, I would say, the bouncy Rory that we saw last week at the Travelers Championship, where he played pretty well again. He sounded really encouraged and optimistic about his game, and also traveling across the pond, getting back in those familiar environs, playing links golf. I think feeling the love and the support of his home country, teeing it up at Royal Portrush, just about an hour from where he grew up. I think that is exactly what he needs to sort of get him out of this late season funk that he clearly finds himself in.
Can the body and the mind respond one more time for another big moment in 2025? That's my question, because he does have such great ties to Royal Portrush and the Dunluce course. Shot 61 there at the age of 16. And of course, we all remember 2019, that opening round, the miss left with the iron, ends up making an 8, shoots 79, and then that incredible Friday where he shoots 65 and nearly makes the cut. He has great history and tortured history at this golf course, not to the level of Augusta National, but the fact that it's a homecoming, the fact that he's had 2 months, understandably, a little bit lost. This is an opportunity for him to get snapped back into the frame and focused once again.
Yeah, you think about the big tournaments that he could potentially sort of gird himself for, right?
Yes.
The Open Championship at home. If you can't get motivated for that one, he said he's not going to get motivated for anything. Obviously, the Ryder Cup on American soil as well. Bethpage Black, you know the sort of environment he's going to find himself in. If he can't get up for those two events, I don't know if it's ever going to happen. He is preparing himself, Damon, for what he's expecting to be a pretty emotional fortnight across the pond. In 2019, did not handle it particularly well, was overwhelmed on that first tee on Thursday, made the spirited rally, as you mentioned, on Friday, broke down afterwards, saying he was, sort of unaware of what that moment was going to mean for him. Can he get his game over these next couple of weeks in a position to really capitalize on it is the big question to me. Drove it as well as anyone in the field at Oakmont. Last week at the Travelers Championship, had his best putting week of the year, hit his irons as well as he has at Augusta. Which one comes first? Is it because he has an emotional letdown that his game sort of suffers, or is it because his game is not where he wants it to be that he has the emotional letdown as well? I think the game needs to be the priority over the next couple of weeks.
I hope he's able to find the joy that we see from him often, not so much since completing the career Grand Slam. I think it's been relief to a certain extent, but the last few weeks he's been a little bit testy with the media, kind of saying he's just kind of over the whole song and dance, the performative aspect. I play, I talk to you, I play, I talk to you. Okay, I understand, but man, when Rory is firing and when things are right, when he's playing great and he's comfortable and happy and expansive when he's talking to the media, it's the best version of Rory. I think that's the Rory that the media loves, the fans love, because he lets us in. I just hope it's not too late, that he's not just fried by what happened in April and the struggles of May, that he's able to kind of find that joy, recapture it before 25 is up.
And I don't think it's any coincidence that earlier this year at the Players' Championship in Augusta National, Rory McIlroy said that this is the happiest he has ever been.
Yeah.
Everything in his life was seemingly in a good spot, and I think that's why he played his best golf earlier this season, had the best start that he's ever had on the PGA Tour. Can he sort of rekindle that magic, get back into that frame of mind, get himself up for another challenge? We don't know what that's like to basically summit the mountain. You're going to come back down. How do you then sort of get the courage and the encouragement and the motivation and everything else, all the excitement to just go again? Tiger Woods couldn't do it. After the Tiger Slam in 01, did not have a top 10 in a major championship the rest of the year. Rory's finding that difficult as well. But if it is going to happen, it's going to happen at Portrush, and it's certainly going to happen at Bethpage Black.